Hi, I'm Mariana Palmer, and I write a lot. I write young adult, mainly urban fantasy, but I like fantasy, I like some little bit of sci-fi, and I write a lot of different things, but usually it's young adult, urban fantasy. So, I would like to talk to you today about how I get my inspiration. Inspiration is everywhere if you know where to look for it. For me, one of the ways I get my inspiration is what if. I always ask what if questions, like whenever I watch a movie or a television show or something like that, I ask what if. What if this happened instead of something else? Like I watched Twilight, and I love it. I love the whole series of Twilight. But I asked what would have happened if Bella could actually fight back for herself. And then I had loved Buffy Buffy the Vampire Slayer for such a many years. So I thought maybe combine the two. What if this person was not just a person who couldn't fight back, and was not just a human, but was actually something stronger than the villain that she came to fall in love with. So I came up with Savage Tear because the main character Tony is a Savage Tear that she can fight these demons they know as Tirade Angels. They're similar to vampires, but instead of blood, they drink emotions. They will attack their victim and make them feel worse and worse for whatever bad, and then they'll just feed off that negative energy. And with Tony, when she meets the guy she loves, she is not only worried about him feeding off her, but also her killing him. So that's how the whole series goes on. It's the Slate series. So that was a what if that I just thought, hey, finish the what if this happened. So whenever I think what if, it comes into the story usually. And then another inspiration is actually kind of funny because it comes from negative. If I read a book that I don't like, I ask, how could have this been better? What can I do to make it better? What can I do to solve this in my mind? Because there was a book I read once that where it was this entire thing was building up to saving everybody. It was a danger, and I was like, okay, save them, and then it's just like, no, we're gonna kill the person. And I was so mad. It stayed with me, and I finally wrote a book with it in that I seen that was similar to that in it, and that I was inspired a scene from And So We Hunt. So I allowed my brain to say I didn't like that. So how can I fix it? And I fix it in my mind at least, because sometimes when I read books and they don't go the way I would like, and they just frustrate me and disappoint me, I get really mad because I'm reading a book now, and I force myself to get through because I don't like not finishing books, and I have to give my sister a chance to catch up because I'm so far ahead in my reading that she's just like so far behind, and I'm waiting for her to catch up. So I'm reading this book, and it's just like, I call it the screen door writing. That's what I call it, because it's I don't remember what it was, but there was something they were like marching. These two people were marching through this place, and it was like secured like crazy. The doors were opening up with eye scans, and then with the hands, and they were just like it was like this heavily fortified, secured area. So then they went into the last area, that's supposed to be most secured, and there was a dog coming in, and there's a screen door that's just like swinging off its hook, like anybody could just come in. Well, that's what I feel like when I'm reading a book that just keeps going up and builds up, and then goes. It's like, you did all this stuff, and then it's just useless. It was useless. Why would you do this? So that bugs me. So whenever that happens in a book, I try to recreate a similar scene, but not exact scene, but then I finish it in the way that I would like. That's my biggest inspiration is negative stories, which helps me with writing books like this. Another inspiration for me is unfinished stories. When stories don't get complete, and the author stops for whatever reason, I have to say, what happened then? I think my earliest memory of doing that was when my family was watching this horrible movie, and it was like someone had killed the dog, and I was so upset. And I started crying. So my parents said, get out of the room, go. You're getting upset about this, just go. So I went to my room and said, but now I don't know what happened. Was there any closure? And I made up the whole story of my own to how it actually ended. And another example of this was from Gilmore Girls. The last season had, like, it didn't really finish, but I mean, it finished, it was a little complete, but it didn't say where all these characters went. So from the moment I watched the last episode of Gilmore Girls, I said, how did this really end? What did happen? What did Rory ever meet up with Logan again? And I liked them together, so when they broke up at the end of the series. Spoilers, I guess. That's too late, isn't it? Oh well. When they broke up at the end of the series, I thought, you know what, they weren't really ready for each other right now. They're young. So she goes off and gets on the campaign trail, and she learns how to become a reporter and finds that she's better at business, and then she meets up with Logan again when he's at the top of business, and they find out they become a power couple, and that's when they get back together and have a romantic relationship again, which when they're ready. And I came up with all this stuff about how Lorelai and Luke got married, and then they, all this great stuff. But it was because the Gilmore Girls never finished that story with me. By the time that what was that called? By the time A Year in the Life came out, I had already decided what had happened to those characters, so I didn't really particularly like The Year in the Life. But it was too late because the characters were strong in my mind. That's what my inspiration comes from. I can make it my own. That's great. I love that. And then there's what could have been. I mean, it's a little close to unfinished stories, but it's also the fact the stories are finished, but you think there's something that doesn't all add up, all the canon. I used to love Xena, the Warrior Princess show. I loved it. I mean, I dressed up like her. I would do a little... As you probably can see on this channel if you look for it, I have the first episode, Sins of the Past, that me and my sister acted out. But I loved it. But there was lots of inconsistencies, and one of the ones that me and my sister had a problem with was Joxer. Joxer was like, he shouldn't have been alive. He was like just so stupid. So I thought, what if there was something more? What if, so we together we thought of a story that was different. There was Joxer the Mighty, who was actually the son of Ares, and all this stuff he was keeping alive because of that, but he really could fight, but he was a pacifist. Well, we wrote a fan fiction about it, and it's all cool. But that was a whole, 75,000 word story based on Joxer and his adventures. That was not just, Joxer was not, I really liked Joxer, and he never really got much of a character developed on Xena. But his character was finished. His story died on 5th season, and such. But in my fanfiction, he lives, and he's strong, and he's great. So, that's what I love, too. That's a good inspiration. And another inspiration is video games. I love video games. I have played them for such a long time. Link to the Past was what made me feel, Zelda Link to the Past, Legend of Zelda Link to the Past was what made me feel like I was human for the first time in my life. So, I love video games. And sometimes it will come into my writing because I was playing this game, and at the beginning, it was like I think it was Suikoden 2, and for the PlayStation, I don't know. But it was like at the beginning there was these soldiers, and they were basically betrayed by their commander, and it just came into my head thinking, you know what, I want to write a story where these people are in this place together and they have to fight this beast. It's not out of anywhere. It's not really far. But I started the story and I think I want to write that. I call it Wandering War. It's going to be all this. I can't remember right now, but it's going to be written sooner or later. Right now the point is that video games are great for my inspiration. And I guess what it comes out to is inspiration is wherever you love. As long as you're thinking, asking questions, what happened next? What happened to these characters? What could have happened? What doesn't fit up in the overall story, and why? Because when I think like that, stories always come. Because Xena, the Warrior Princess, is my favorite show when I was younger. It had so many plot holes. I mean, it wasn't as bad as Hercules' Legendary Journeys, but it had some. So every single time, I didn't want to say that the writers just messed up. I wanted to say, no, this is why, this is what happened, and I could explain it. That's why I loved Xena. You could explain it. So that helped my writing in a lot of ways. So that's my inspiration. That's where it comes from, and I'm getting inspired to write my 4th book of my Slate series Tirade here because I am going to finish today. I hope I'm going to finish today. I have like 8,000 words to write. Yeah, I'm not going to finish today. But I have high hopes. I thought I was going to finish yesterday. I was so stupid. But thank you for watching, and I hope you have a great day. Bye!